YouTube. Yeah, so here's the Stag Stratocaster, pal Neil's. He said do something funny with the wiring, so I was like, there's an awful lot of options, but got a wee toggle switch. The easy option is to put in a Gilmore switch or a Wild Dog switch. Doesn't really matter where it goes, probably there. And basically what that does is it hot wires the neck pickup on, or you can hotwire the bridge pickup on. So if you've got the Gilmore switch on, turns on the neck pickup, means when you selected the bridge pickup here, you get the outside two, and if you go to position 2, which is normally these two, you get all 3 on. So that gives you 2 extra sounds. Another option is these are, which I'm about to check, one of the things I was going to do, opposite wind. I just happen to have another pickup here, so it should stick to one of them. Yeah, but it doesn't stick to that one. It's repelled by that one, and it'll be repelled by this one as well, which means that in positions 2 and 4 this is hum cancelling. But for the purposes of this, it also means that if you knock these two in series, you've got a humbucker. Yeah, so the options there is I could make it a humbucker, so that wire the two of them in. Now, see, this is where I've not yet decided exactly where I'm going to go, because if I wire these two together in series using the special switch, it means that in the bridge position it will just be that as a single coil. Position 2 will still be the same. Position 3 will be these two as a humbucker. Position 4 would be these two as a humbucker plus this one in parallel, and then neck position would just be the neck position. Or I make it the cascading triple bucker, which, let's be honest, that's a cool name for a switch. What I'm doing there is wiring the 3 pickups in series, and then it basically means when you choose it, if you're on the 5-way, you would have single coil in the bridge, single coil in the bridge, and in the middle you would have these two as a humbucker, and then in position 4 you'd still have just these two as a humbucker. When you went to the neck position, you'd have all 3 wired as a triple bucker. But I quite like the use of the word cascading, because that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm cascading the 3 pickups together, and I know Neil's got other strats, none of them will do this sound. So cascading megabucker it is, because mostly just the way it sounds. What am I going to edit this? I don't know. There's not any. I might as well just pause it. There's no point in watching me try and take off the strings and the scratch plate. Really, you've seen me do that before. So I'll just pause this. Yeah, I'm just taking the screws out the scratch plate. Don't use a drill to take out or put in screws on a guitar unless you've used a drill a lot. I used one every day for 20 years, so it's like I'm able to be relatively gentle with it, and I've got the exact right drill bit that fits. You know, it's so easy to, especially if you've got a guitar that the screws are rusty on. Try to do this with a drill. Don't, because you'll just if it gets stuck and you don't have the exact perfect bit, it just takes the head off the screw, and that's just a nightmare. So basically all I'm doing here is taking this off, and I'm going to take off the 3 wires that are on the back of this. Oh, individual line there. Oh, we've got plastic steel back pickups. As in they're the same as the steel backs, but we've got plastic back. So here's the earth wire that comes from the bridge. I'll take that off. And then here's is the wire that goes to the output jack. That, and then that's the earth for it, and then that is the tip. So now this is no longer connected to the guitar, and I can put the guitar away. And then we can have a look at what's in here and what I'm going to try and do. No plan, no you see that? Right, so making it up as I go along. Right, see they've used there, they've used the leg of this cap to join the two together. That's totally fine, but I'm going to put a switch in there, so that bit of metal's going to get in the way, so that's going to be getting snibbed, and then I'll just put a wire junctioning over the top. There's not really any advantage to using 2 caps. You might as well just use one. I'm not going to bother changing that. I might alter the way it works. So basically here's your What am I taking off? What I need to do here is I need to take off the start wires, the earth wires from the pickups, because these 3 pickups are already connected to the 5-way switch. Yeah, that's kind of, I'm not really altering that. They're still going to do that, and the tones, I'm likely just to leave them the way they are, or do I maybe put a high pass filter in instead? I'll decide later. But what I need to do is I need to separate off the starts of these pickups, which have been twisted together and soldered, so it might be a little bit fidgety. It should be alright though. I'm just thinking if I can pull these things apart like that while I'm unsoldering it, and that's very close to my fingers to getting burnt, but there we go. So I just do that, you should be able to get it off. That's those 2 off, and do the same here. One of these, as in the bridge pickup, the earth's just going back onto the back of the pot because it's not doing anything. The bridge pickup's always going to be on its own. It's when I put them into series, it's going to be a start thing. So whatever the bridge pickup is going back on. That's this one. So this is just going. Actually, there you go, Red Dwarf. Go. Have you not got a series called Back to Earth? So this one is going back to Earth. Like so. Just doing it now just means I don't have to think about it later on. Yep. So what my new switch is going to do, I'm probably actually just going to take this out and then I'll put it back in again, just so I've got enough room to actually put the switch in. Might as well work it out as I go. Take that off, and I want to take that out, but I think I'm just going to have to snip that, and I'll have to put a wee jumper wire in later. If I decide it's going to go back to being one tone. I think. Unless I can think of something funnier to do with it. Yeah, right. Yeah, straight. It's really annoying actually. See that wee bit of sellotape I took off? That sticky fingers. It's a good Stones album, but it's annoying me the fact that it's just a wee bit sticky. So basically I'm just going to drill a hole there for this pot, this new switch, put the switch in and then work with it, and I might have to extend these. I don't think these are actually going to run all the way to the switch. They're not, so I'm going to have to extend these wires because they're going to have to get to this switch, these 2. So basically thing number 1 is I'm going to go and de-stickify my hands a little bit. So I'll just pause it again, rather than just leave it running the whole time. Drill the hole, it's in, putting the wee switch in here. What I've done is here, I've wrapped on the edge of the switch, there's like wee metal panels here. So I wrapped it in a bit of insulating tape, just because as you can see it's quite close to those pots, you don't want it shorting anything out. I'm going to put a couple of washers behind it, make it sit a bit more flush. Pop it in there. Yep, there's enough there for that, and then put the wee thing on it. So ideally I'm going to make this when it's no, I'm actually not even going to bother. Whether it's backwards or forwards, you can. There's a good reason for putting it either way, but that means you just got to work out which way it goes. I'm just going to do it, and basically either backwards is on and off, or forwards is on. Whatever it is, there's only one switch in the guitar. It's the only thing that's really going to matter. Either way though. Don't over tighten this either, otherwise it might pop the thing out the switch. I've done that before. Yeah, right. So I suppose next thing is a wee roughing up of that. I can totally see the file. Come on. You can see it, and I'm trying to poke at it with things, and it's like basically I'm just kind of make further away. So that bit. It's like that bit at the end of the Holy Grail. It's another file that'll do. So I'm just going to rough up these contacts a little bit, so it solder sticks to them a bit better. And that's me. I've just lost the Stanley knife blade because I heard it go boing and jump up magnetic sizes to the pickups. So yeah, see, that's where it went. That's also happened a lot of times before. Yes, right. So what I'll do is I will tin these terminals. It just involves putting a bit of solder on them. And I do have a diagram for this switch, but it's in my wee secret special book. So I'll try and keep it fresh just by doing it just off the top of my head. And then that way it might actually make sense. What it is I'm doing. Right. So what I've got to do now is I've got to extend these wires that come off the pickups. Because they've got to reach this new switch. So what I need is a little bit of tape. I do have some shrink wrap cable, but it's not the right size. I've got that black cable, which is a total godsend. I got off Chaos on YouTube. I don't see it sitting there, so I will pause this until I get bits of wire and a bit of tape. Got wire, all ready to rock. I've got tape. Then just extend these, nice and easy. And then, as I said, this is kind of the sequence of things, but it's not necessarily going to make not that much sense. I can't remember what it is I'm going to do in a minute, but I'm just doing it stage by stage. Whatever it is I have to do, which I can't remember, I've got to do it by extending. The principle is I'm extending these two wires. So just break it down into bits. There. Is there enough solder on that to actually make it connect? That'll be a no. Let's tin these. Yeah, that's enough. It's not want to be easy at all. Bastard, right. Should be easy. I'll just join this wire to that. It needs to be pretty. Which is just as well, because it ain't. But that's solid and solid. So we'll just stick that the same bit of tape. Do I need to know which is which? I do actually, so I'll not bother taking that to bits yet. Right, and both these wires are just going to there, so being about that length will be fine. And these two just go to the middle terminals of this switch. What I'll do is I'll be sensible and I'll do them in the order that they are, looking at them. So I'll make the one on the left the middle pickup, and the one on the right the neck pickup. I'll try and be sort of quite neat about it. So I said that's the left, so that's the far away one. So if I just put that in there and just put that there and just. Okay, and then this one I'll just put to there and jump. Right. Make sure they're not, definitely not touching. They are not. Right, so there we go. Now I can take this up a little bit neater. Not a lot neater, just a little bit like that. If we put that around it. Right. Okay. So now this is the earth points for these pickups. So I need to take the start of the blue pickup, the middle pickup, and then put it to the output of the bridge pickup. If I try and explain it, will it make it more confusing than it is? Well, electricity always takes the path of least resistance. So basically what I'm going to do here is wire all three pickups in series. But the three-way switch will still be in there, so the pickup will be wired up as series. It's just that when you select the bridge pickup on the selector switch, which is that one there. So this is the bridge pickup out, yes. So the bridge pickup out. Right. That goes to the middle pickup in, if you like. But if you select the bridge pickup, although there's still a circuit, you're essentially hot wiring the circuit, the triple bucker. You're hot wiring it, so it's only giving you one coil. And if you go to the end of the second middle position, the neck position, you're hot wiring the other end of the coil, middle position. See that? So this is neck out. This is going to the bridge pickup position 1, and this is the earth, or the start of the middle coil. And then if I run another wire, same sort of thing, that goes from the earth of the neck pickup, then this goes to the middle pickup output, which goes this. Just got to remember to put that jumper wire for the tone control that I cut out earlier on. Apart from that, it's kind of done. That's everything working once this is in. That's it. The mega triple bucker cascading bastard caster blaster thing, wired and run. I've still got the other side of the switch to do. Right, there we go. So all this needs now is one more wire, which is an earth, and that is going to, so the middle two wires, which as you know on this switch are the start points or the grounds for the middle and the neck pickup, which they normally go to earth, as you saw when I took them off the back of that pot. So in this switch, this basically is just going to switch them back to earth. So when this switch is off, the guitar's wired exactly the same as it was before. All I'm doing is intercepting that, and instead of sending it to earth like the way it should be, it's going to the start of the other pickup to wire them all in series. This is the bit where I burn my fingers. It's not a very long piece of wire. Right. Hot! So this goes across these two. 1, 2. Oh, come on, stick yet. just goes onto earth. And then the only switch I've now got to do is the only other wire is to replace that jumper for the tone, which will be a bit fidgety but not too bad. That's that on there. Right, I need one more wee bit of wire. A wee loop. Just about that long. And this is just going to connect that tone capacitor to the middle lug of the second tone control. And this is the point where I try and make it so that the neck tone has its own I suppose I might as well show you how to do two things. It's like you're obviously in a strat, there's a tone for the middle and a tone for the neck, but there's no tone for the bridge. It's quite easy just to make it so that the tone for the middle does the bridge as well. It's a 2-second job. So this is just basically going in onto that middle lug from whence it came. Is that right? No, I don't like the way that's wired. I'm going to do it my way. Because my way or the highway. I would rather just run it the same as the other one. So this one's going to run coming from the switch. I don't want to go on there. Shit wire. Stuff just melts. You just notice that whenever you buy any wire, whatever kind it is, it always seems to be much better than the stuff you get as standard in the guitar. Everything seems to be an upgrade. And I want to put this to the middle lug. Yep. And then I'm taking the output. This is where I would normally put the tone control here. Tone cap. And then I must have knocked off this wire when I was in there. Oh, that's going to be a nice and easy one to get to, isn't it? I've got to poke this red hot 400 degrees soldering iron through there without melting 6 wires. Fun, fun, fun. I think I probably had it there, I just pulled it off too quickly. Done, right. And then the last wire in this guitar is to put this onto the tone cap. It's not that messy in here. There we go. And I did check this guitar. I just make sure this everything on this guitar worked before I did this. So basically, this does work. I am 99% because you're never 100% sure that it's going to work, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. So switch off. You've got a normal Strat. Switch down. You've got in position 1 single coil. In position 2 humbucker. Position 3 megabucker. Cascading. Just kind of want to put infinite gain in that title somewhere, but that would be a lie. So it's got to be accurate, even though it can have a cool name. Cascading super bucker. Bucking marvelous. There's plenty of things to be had. And then just to connect the whole thing back up again is 2 wires, 3 wires technically. So you've got the output from the volume control. This goes to the middle lug of the volume. Nice and simple, and there, like that, bang. And then this is the earth for the output jack. It just goes on to the back of the part. And then you get the earth that comes from the claw at the back. There's the strings. just goes on as well. And then the last thing to check is that is earth, isn't it? That is earth to there, yeah. So that's the earth for the. So basically, all I'm doing is choosing the. I don't even know if I can I get any more zoomed in. I'll even take it. So I will. Yeah. So going to the centre two prongs in this are the earths for the middle and the neck pickups. When the switch is down, they just go to earth, which means you've just got a usual 5-way switch. When the switch is up, it routes the earth from the middle pickup to the output from the bridge pickup, and it takes the earth from the neck pickup and puts it to the output of the middle pickup. And that made sense. But it's an interesting mod. It doesn't cost any money. You don't need to buy anything fancy. You're just using your existing pickups. Everything's okay. The only thing to make sure this works, you have to make sure that the coils are reverse wound. The middle, so they're different. I mean, the magnet, something magnetic will stick. A piece of metal will stick to both of them, but a magnet has got to be repelled by one. You can still put all three pickups in series if they don't do that, but they're not humbucking. It'll just be muddy. Whereas this way, technically, any triple bucker, you can only be positive or negative when you're talking about which way clockwise and all that. So any triple bucker has to have two going one way and one going the other, which is what it is here. How long is this video? Been 25 minutes. I suppose the next one, I haven't even set this guitar up yet. I was doing this first, and then I'll get on with it. It needs a wee bit of new strings on it, and a bit of oil on that fretboard. Lower the action, just check for any high frets. It does look to be in good nick, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's got good frets or it's been set up in any way. It might have never really been finished properly, which happens with a lot of these guitars. You'd be amazed what you can do with something like this. Buying these sort of stag guitars that are, not playing great, so therefore you maybe get it for 50 quid, 60 quid, and actually just spend nothing but time adjusting bits. Okay, you can spend £1 and buy a switch and put this thing in. Mess about with it, and as I said, the only parts I used for that was one of those switches. And okay, they're not £1. They're £1 if you buy 20. So you get 20 for 20 quid. I think you're talking 2 or 3 quid or something. And it's just a DPDT 2-way switch. Those are the ones I use, them, and I use DPDT 3-way switches as well, on, off, on switches. They're quite good because you get the middle position doesn't do anything, but you can't use it for series or phase as an option because you need more terminals for that. So that's basically all my guitars will have that. I know you can buy, super switches and all that for 25 quid and stuff like that, but I charge somebody 25 quid for doing this, like 50 quid if you want me to put in another switch which does the same thing, but it's easier to wire. Most people don't think about this sort of thing. Free modifications, but you don't have to. We can't sell them anything. You can sell them a switch. Is that a special guitar switch? No. 125 volt, I think they're rated to. Guitar switches. A guitar is like millivolts, if that. Not even worthy mentioning volts. I suppose you might sort of hear this. I'm assuming it's going to work. See this? And I have better tuner. Right. Yeah, totally. I should have paused, but I haven't. All right. So if I didn't do it this way, you wouldn't know that I was 100% sure that I got it right. Well, I know it works well enough to get the thingy working, the tuner working. So it's outputting some sort of signal. Right. So if I yeah, okay, do have a little bit of a halo on behind me. Right. So off with the tuner. Right. So yeah, so I've wired it up wrong somewhere. What is it we're actually getting here? I think the bucker's working. I must have knocked a wire off when I was doing the thing. So I think that's just that. That's that and the humbucker. Yeah, and that's all three on. No. Why is that not working? What's happened is I've so there's your single coil bucker. Yep, one of the wires I haven't put in the place that I said I put it. I've said the right thing and put it in the wrong place. Rocking. So there you go. Even at being 95%, I'll just end this video now, and the next video you see will have it all working. It'll just be one wire I put on the wrong place. I missed one out. I'll have said which one it was and then not done it. Rock on.